So here's the thing. In this tutorial we're going to make an horizontal scroll animation using Next.js, Gsap and vanilla CSS. I'm Ivan Smith, this is my first video. I'm a front-end developer and I hope this video will be helpful to someone out there. Of course we are starting this project from completely scratch, so I'm going to install all of the dependencies with npx create next app and just call it scroll. You can give it whatever name you want. And I'm not using TypeScript, I'm using ESLint for linting. I'm using the source directory, but you can also don't do that, it's not mandatory to this tutorial. I'm not using the experimental app and import aliens. Here we go, project is already almost completely set up. Just need to install Gsap, of course. Just going to npm I Gsap and just run dev, running the server. All right. So at this point we just need to remove all this placeholder stuff that comes with npx create next app, and we're just going to create a brand new functional component. Call it just home. I'll just remove all the global CSS and I'm going to delete the home modules as I'm not using CSS modules for these projects. So right now we just want to create a component folder, components, maybe it's better, and we are going to create our hero.js component. And as you can see, for this component is really simple and straightforward. Just have a header, an h1 and h2. Of course you can put all the stuff that you want, just for the sake of this tutorial is really simple. And we are just going to reset all the style, just selecting the HTML, the body and everything, just putting some padding 0, margin 0, box size and border box, and probably you already know all this stuff. And we are just using some constants like for the background color, the primary color, the primary text color, and some heading styles like for big headlines, medium headlines, and spacing. Alright, so we also take the body, just having this little nice black background. I'm going to style just a bit the header, just putting the height of 100 viewport H and just centering all the stuff inside. So we just want also to select the text. In this case we are selecting the H1, just putting the Jill Sans as a primary font and some other fonts as a, let's say if this one doesn't work, then I'm going to take all the other families. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to import it in the index with hero. As you can see, VS Code automatically imported from the correct directory, and yeah, we have already our hero section. Right now our hero component is finished, and now we just need to finally work on the animation. I'm going to create another component called scroll section.js. If you're wondering what is this stuff, this RFC, this comes from a really nice, I'll call it extension, is this one, ES7 plus React Redux, React Native, blah blah blah, from this really complex username. I don't want even try to pronounce this. So yeah, just creating the scroll section, and I think we get just starting to import all the stuff that we need. We're just using useref for referencing stuff in the DOM, useEffect for building the animation. In React, you always want to put the Gsap animation, especially with ScrollTrigger inside useEffect. You're importing Gsap, you're importing ScrollTrigger from Gsap / this is really important, as Next.js uses server-side rendering. You should not import ScrollTrigger like this, but always with the dist folder. And we are just going to create really slowly this time. I'm going to write it by myself. Oops. React. We'll start building a section with the class name of scroll section outer. Alright, inside we have a div with another div, and the first div is going to have a class name of scroll. Sorry, this div actually doesn't have a class. So this div is going to call scroll section inner. All right, and this basically acts like a container for all the divs that I'm going to have right here, which we're going to have an h3 of section 1 with have a class name of scroll section. All right, I'm just going to simply duplicate all this stuff and rename it accordingly. All right, and this is basically all the HTML actually is JSX that we need for the animation. So I'm just going to style it just a bit. We start having some style for the outer. We just need to overflow hidden, and in the inner section I'm just going to have 100% viewport H, and this is really important. I'll talk a bit more about later, but for now you just need to know that this is for centering all this stuff. So you just need to close the hero, and right here we can start slowly building the animation. First thing first, we just want to select some stuff in the DOM, and not just going to select the first div, the empty one without the class. This will act just as a trigger, and the second one, which is where the animation will, let's say, will play, and we can immediately jump to use our beloved useEffect. All right, we want to use a const like pin is equal to gsap dot from to. All right, and this one always have the section ref is the element that you want to animate. That current, you're going to write this stuff a lot. You always should include that current when you want to get the ref. And these have two objects. The first one is the to animation, which is translate x, which is 0, and the second object is the to animation, which is way more longer, is translate x is equal to -300 viewport H. That is because we have four sections. This number is going to increase or decrease based on how many sections you have. We don't want any ease. is none. We want the wait. Alright, we want the direction to stay at 1. And finally the scroll trigger. There you are, which is an object, and we're going to select our trigger, which is the trigger f as again that current, and we want this to start like in top. This is when the user reach the top of the trigger, the animation will be triggered, and we want this to end should be 2000 pixel when the user reached the top of the last section. We want to put some scrub. One is not coming because I'm missing the comma. Okay, scrub. You can also set this to true, or you can set a default value. Like in this case, I want to have it from scrub of 0.6, and we are going to pin it to the screen with just true. Okay. Also, we need, in the return function, we need to kill the animation, which is just the constant pin dot kill. This is really useful in some cases, maybe not in this case, but I just prefer to put it is going to kill the animation when the component gets unmounted, so the animation doesn't remain in the component. It's something really useful. Maybe we don't need it in this case, but yeah, I'm just going to put it anyway. The next thing we are going to make, of course, is tidying a bit these sections. And the code hopefully is really not that much, because we just need to set the height of every section and just some styling to the h3 that I put inside. And I think we are almost ready to go. We can just importing it in the home scroll section. Here we are. He wants some React fragments. All right. And yeah, it's already working. As a demonstration, we could also build some really quick, like footer components, footer.js. And going to quickly take the code that I have and a bit of styling. This more or less is almost identical to the hero section, and just going to import the footer. All right, and now should be also working. Yeah, it's perfectly working. As you can see, it's also really responsive. And yeah, I think that's it. The tutorial is really easy, really quick. And if you have some question, just let me know in the comment.